So Joe was going to the museum and we stopped him because they've got a new wireless mod mic, and I basically wanted you to come here and do my job for me and just tell us all about this. Wireless mod mic, what went in to this? Did people ask for this?
This is the thing that people ask for the most. Everybody who knows the mod mic knows that the biggest downside was that extra cable you had to clip on to your existing headphones. And it's not a huge deal. It really isn't.
It's a lightweight cable, but it's really long.
Yeah.
So I know a couple guys that I walk in and they're like completely wound up in it. I'm like, what have you been doing? Like spinning in circles the entire time? Yeah.
Some people really found that offensive. So they've just been asking for this. It is everything we had hoped to be able to put into a wireless unit, though.
All right, well, let's go through what this is, and then I'm going to ask some questions, and you guys should stay tuned for this because I'm going to ask some questions about the manufacturing process, some of the hurdles you had to go through. But first off, tell us about the microphone itself. Is this a condenser mic? Is it a directional mic?
It is a cardioid condenser mic, just like the original mod mics. However, every single part of this has been newly sourced, so we're not reusing anything. Everything has been upgraded. So you didn't
just go to a factory and say, like, we'll take that one and smack our logo on it.
Right.
This is not
just that, but we also didn't take the ModMic 5, for instance, and just say, we just put a wireless transmitter on it. It's not that either. So it is entirely new.
And what's the battery life on this?
Over 12 hours.
So is that something you had to, like, find a mic that was going to be low power but also sound good enough? Is that something you guys had to really worry about, or is it just a mic so it's already pretty low power?
Yeah, the mic's already pretty low power. It was a factor. Really, actually, the LEDs take up more energy than the than the microphone does, practically.
Nice. Now, do you have to do anything special to like keep the weight down? Because that's something that's going to be a little different over a cable. A cable does pull, which it may be lightweight, but it does pull. But this one, you've got a little module on the side of your headphones there.
Yeah, it's interesting because the less important thing than the weight is actually the amount of weight you put off center, right? So if the tip were too heavy, that would put a lot of extra strain on the clasp. Whereas if the weight is all right on where the clasp is, you don't get as much of that rotational torque, I guess.
Like a katana, right?
I'm the marketing guy, so these technical terms might be slightly incorrect, but that was the big issue. So while actually the ModMic 5 is heavier when you add the cable in,
right?
This is lighter, but at the same time with the ModMic 5 you could clip the cable to your headphones cable and put all that
release the tension a little bit,
onto the cable.
So it's a give and take.
So yeah, there's a little bit of give and take. As far as materials, it's made of a lightweight plastic. That's it's not like gonna break in your hands or anything. The steel spine is a little bit lighter as well from the ModMic 5. You can tell. I don't know if you remember what that feels like, but it's pretty stiff. This one bends a little easier.
Yeah, it's a little easier to bend.
But otherwise, it's very similar in weight. I think it weighs 1.5 ounces is the actual weight.
7 pounds right here.
7 pounds.
7 pounds.
I don't think it says so in the back.
Game like this. Will this allow you to change from omni to sort of a directional?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So what you have on the tip of the mic, just like the ModMic 5, is you have a omni mode and a uni mode. So an omni for higher quality recordings, a uni mode for more noise canceling, cardioid condenser pattern. What's cool about it is the tech inside the transmitter is using an aptX low latency chip. There's actually two of them, one in the transmitter, one in the receiver.
Right.
And that allows us to do 48 kilohertz of bandwidth through that omnidirectional mic, which is a 10 hertz to 20 kilohertz mic. And you'll get all that sound as if you're using one of these giant things.
Right, so it's
right there.
Basically not going to sound that much different from a cable.
Yeah.
Really at all. Now, can you change this on the fly? Like, say if a friend comes in and they start talking and I want people to hear them too, can I just swap it over to the omni mode and then good to go?
Yeah, it will make a popping noise. Can't avoid that. It's you feel free when
we'll test this thing.
When you test it to give it a switch.
We're gonna wait till he's gone before we test it. Now on the back here we got a button right here. What's this do?
That is the everything button.
The everything button?
Yeah. So
guys, we've solved all the problems right there.
All the things are solved right there. You press that button, press it once, it goes mute. And I want to talk about the receiver too, in a moment here. But you hold it down for 5 seconds, it'll pair. If you hold it down for 2 or 3 seconds or so, it'll turn off.
Oh, cool.
Now you can't test it.
Now I've paired it.
You have to repair the thing.
What have I done? Let's talk about the manufacture of this unit. Now, I imagine since there's not really much out there, I guess, in this product category that's similar, you guys had to do more research than most, but I imagine there were also a few snags. Tell us about one of your biggest hurdles to making this.
The biggest hurdle was the quality problem. People think this is the common conception, I think, for Bluetooth stuff. You just put a Bluetooth transmitter on something and it magically becomes wireless.
Right, I could just tape it to anything.
Yeah, you just Bluetooth transmitter done, and suddenly you have a wireless version of whatever you had before. But the problem we ran into is all the standard Bluetooth protocols, they are complete crap for the mic.
Right.
They are, so the maximum one we could find was 16 kilohertz. That's an 8 kilohertz maximum frequency response.
Right.
That's so slightly better than your telephone.
It's going to sound like a phone, yeah.
Yeah. And the standard ones, a headset profile and a headphone, hands-free profile rather, those are 4 kilohertz and 8 kilohertz.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh, how you guys doing?
Yeah,
great.
It just sounds awful, right?
Perfect.
And so we had to figure out how to get around that. aptX, as you may think, is you've never seen a microphone using aptX. That's because it's not designed for microphones. It's designed for headphones. So we had to figure out how to use that same technology backwards. And that was that's the coup de grace that makes it all work.
So did you guys do that in software, or did you have to work on some hardware, or both?
It's all in hardware.
All in hardware, okay. Nice, not drivers or anything like that?
Yeah, there's no drivers to install, nothing like that. Just plugs it in place.
That's really cool. Because with something like this, I would anticipate some like software, because if you're doing something that hasn't really been done before, you're usually going to need software, but just plug it in. Now, let's talk about this for just one more second. Now, can this be plugged in anywhere on your computer? Does it need to be line of sight?
It can be plugged in anywhere. In fact, the range on this, you guys have a really heavy, nice door here. Mm-hmm. I would love to see how far out the building you can, well, maybe not out the building, but out the door and down the stairs you can get before it fails. It should be pretty far.
Oh, okay.
In our open air test, we did 100 feet before we hit a wall and couldn't go any further.
And it still worked?
So, yeah. I tested it at my house. I managed to leave the house and go to the streets. So, it's pretty far.
All right.
It obviously will depend on the materials. So, you know, this building's pretty sturdy.
Yeah.
So I expect you won't quite get 100 feet, but you'll get down the stairs.
It's going to be good for making, like, cooking videos or something. I don't know, like, where you can wander around hands-free.
Is that a new channel direction?
Yeah, I think it might be. But, like, build videos and stuff like that, it's going to be handy. But, I mean, just for people out there who want to make anything where they're wandering around and not stationary in a chair, this would be great for that.
Yes, it's already becoming very popular for VR. I mean, it's only been out for a day.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of VR people are really interested in picking it up.
Oh, yeah. Now, is there any, like, I know you don't want to tell me any catastrophic story, but was there any, like, ridiculous circumstance other than just the R&D that was involved in making that work? Was there any, like, oh, shit moment? Yeah,
there's a good lesson in making sure that your first articles, that's the ones that you get from the factory before you go to full production,
right,
are in good working order. And it's always the simplest, dumbest things that make stuff go wrong.
Right.
I went to install it on my existing ModMic clasp, and it wouldn't connect because they'd put the magnet in backwards.
So I was like, ugh. That's exactly what, because I've got one of these on every set of headphones that I use, and most of them in the office. Mm-hmm. Just, they have one of those little magnetic nubs that you have, and I just get more of them, and just like, any other headphones in the office, put one of these on those, just in case we're ever there, so we can just smack them on. Yeah, that would have been a huge pain.
I want to talk about this, because this is my, like, public service announcement for the one thing we include in here.
We have a rainbow we can put on the screen, right?
This little guy, which has this adhesive on the backing, you're going to peel that guy off, stick it on your desk, clasp this thing right to it.
Oh, so
and now it won't get pulled away somewhere, right? So it'll just sit where it goes, and it'll always be in your line of sight.
Can you get us like about 40 of these for everything on my desk? Because I've got some stuff that's similar, but they're huge. And
you get one with every ModMic purchase, man. Pretty clever little solution to the problem of this is another manufacturing thing. We produced these originally with little feet on them, but it's so light, the cord, it didn't matter. The weighted feet weren't heavy enough, and yeah, so we had to
put the sticky thing on the bottom.
We had to come up with a better solution, which we did.
Nice. I can already think of about 3 reasons to buy multiples. One is this. You gotta have multiple of these, and since I don't know what they're called, I'm just gonna buy a bunch of ModMics.
We call them a cable anchor.
Cable anchor? Don't tell people to go buy them without...
Oh, crap. No, I mean, as far as we know, we're the ones that make these things. Maybe you're right. Maybe we should just
this is the only place on the planet where you can get these guys. I'm sure of it, and I know. No. The other thing is, if you want to play your MMO for 17 hours in a row, you'll have to get 2 and just swap them out. It's not healthy.
It's definitely not healthy. You can charge the ModMic while you're using it, though, so you don't have to get up.
So don't tell them that. They need 12 hours is enough to game. You can go to bed.
Oh yeah, sure.
You better get to that museum so we can test this thing out.
Be brutally honest.
Oh, we will. That's why you have to leave. We can't have you here influencing us.
The 20s under the table.
Perfect. All right, Joe, thanks very much.
Thank you.
After the audio test, we're going to read a little something from Krondor the Betrayal by Raymond Feist, based on the video game, actually. Random passage here. They reached the front of the Barrows house, and a stable boy ran over and said, Master Owen, it's been years. Owen smiled. A hungry badger. Holy shit, I never even noticed this. I found this at Goodwill. It still has the original Betrayal at Krondor demo CD.
Holy hell.
I think we need to be spinning that up pretty soon. I did not know this was in here. Raymond Feist, thank you. Okay, so keep rolling. I'm going to change this from Cardioid. You're listening to Cardioid. I'm going to change it to Omni. And then go ahead and talk right now just to see how Cardioid sounds.
Okay.
So this is Justin behind the camera. He's 4 feet away.
Me yelling a little bit at you, not like screaming at you though, but yeah.
So I changed it over to omnidirectional now, so it should pick up everything around the room. Let's see what happens now when you talk.
Yeah, so right now we have, there should be the sound of the heater going.
Yeah.
If it's able to.
I mean, this thing will probably pick up
that thing blowing
most of the room anyway.
There's me talking.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't heard the train yet today, but
no train. You got me talking over here. So you guys will be able to tell the difference in Omni and the Cardioid. I feel like both of them are going to pick up a lot because neither of them are really noise canceling, but they're going to give you a nice full sound. Now, one more thing. Come over here and take a look at the screen all the way in. I want to show you something. All right, there we go. Device properties. All right, so take a look at the levels. There's no boost, and I'm only running this at 63. On Open Broadcaster, I didn't have to turn them up all the way either. So this thing has plenty of power. Needs no extra gain. So you don't have to get that staticky extra nonsense when you do like 10x gain and stuff. So that's a huge bonus. And you can turn it all the way up to 4,800 hertz, if you like. Leave it like that. One thing I'll note is when you change it from Omni to the Cardioid, it does pop. So mute your mic before you swap that, or just set it up beforehand. All right, we're going to do a crazy test to see if we can actually go as far as we thought. It's very dark in here, but I'm just going to wander myself out of here, see how far I can get, and still be recorded. We've got Justin here on speakerphone. Are you there? All right. Oh, there's a good delay. So you just let me know if I can go. I don't like doing microphone tests when I'm not 100% well, because then you're going to listen to this and be like, oh, it sounds a little nasally. No, I sound a little nasally, but when I listened to this back in the computer just now, I was kind of blown away, and I usually leave it up to you guys, but I'm going to tell you what your opinion should be. Is that the way this works? No, really. Let us know what you guys think in the comments of the audio test. And also, we were able to get pretty far away. I can't imagine anybody using this to go much farther, but there might be some use case scenario that I didn't think of. So I also want to see that in the comments, and maybe, you know, instead of like insulting, be like, you didn't think of this, dummy. Give me a really creative insult. That's what I want. Like, you Cadillac smuggler, you know, like something like that. You know, not just the standard like, listen, you dumb idiot. So when you're correcting me, use fun phrases, right? Also, guys, so while they were here, and you know, Joe's gone now, of course, he left one of these things lying around. So this one right here is new in the box, and I was like, ooh, another one. What are we going to do with this? We're going to give it away. Don't leave stuff here. We're just going to give it away. Now, if you guys want to win this, you need to be checking out our show. You should be checking it out anyway. It's serious business. So the show is mostly about gaming and culture, not as much about hardware and technology, but this is sort of a crossover item because it covers, you know, gaming. You'll be gaming with this thing. When we announce this contest, the next person, based in the USA, that is announced as the sword slinger will win this. What is rattling in there? Oh yeah, the zipper. Friday, we'll see you guys at around 3:40 on Twitch. Beer Games Beer. Links in the description. See you guys later. This is just for significant others. You know. Hey, you didn't take out the whatever. Mute.